If you just focus on Facebook ads and run them and really understand it, knowing that this platform has 4 billion people in the world that are on it, and there's 8 billion people in the world total. So 50% of the whole entire population of the world can tap into your ads. I still feel like people are sleeping on Facebook. I don't know why everybody just doesn't run Facebook ads, because it could go crazy.
What if I told you the biggest mistake e-commerce entrepreneurs make when starting and scaling their business isn't building the wrong store or picking the wrong product? It's failing to create content. And that the truth is, to scale your business, you need to actually understand brand, understand your audience, and understand how to build repeatable systems. My name is Arjun. I'm the founder and CEO of Doula.com, a VC-backed startup here in New York City. You can book a demo at Doula.com to learn more about what we do. I started a series called the 15-Minute Founder, where I sit down with business leaders and entrepreneurs to unpack the secrets behind their success. In this conversation, I sat down with AC Hampton, the founder and CEO of Supreme Ecom and a successful dropshipping entrepreneur himself, where we talked about everything from mindset to the top mistakes e-commerce entrepreneurs make to the top frameworks to actually level up your business. So if you are an aspiring e-commerce entrepreneur or you're looking to scale to 6, 7, and 8 figures and beyond, this conversation is a must watch. Without further ado, let's dive in. I want to go way deeper into dropshipping, but I want to first hear the definition, because you said you learned about dropshipping before it came dropshipping. How would you define in layman terms dropshipping in 2025?
Selling products online without having to hold inventory or buy inventory up front. That's like the simplest way that you can explain it. A lot less risk, and your main focus is just bringing valuable products to people's doorsteps without having to pay for it up front.
A question which will lead to the next one is, do you think that with the right education, anyone can learn to start an e-commerce or dropshipping business? The more meta question I have here is, if someone is trying to start a business for the first time, would you recommend dropshipping, or it takes a specific type of person cut from a specific type of cloth?
No, 100% anybody in the world can do it. Should you learn from people who are in the position that you want to be in and get the value from the people who actually have done it? Yes, you do need to be careful with who you take advice from. That's in any industry. But I truthfully believe that dropshipping is the foundation to so much more in life, even if you don't want to be in the dropshipping space, because you learn how to do web design. So that's a skill set that you can outsource or be able to provide to other businesses or people. You learn how to run ads. That is a crazy skill set of knowing how to do paid media buying. Any type of company nowadays with freelancing, they will pay for paid media buyers like crazy. You learn about short form content. You become a content creator. You understand product analysis. You can do product development. You understand how, audience and how you can tap into that audience. So the marketing skill set, the sales skill set, how you have to operate your business to make sure you don't lose money, you can take it in so many different directions. And we'll talk about it in a little bit, but I know that Supreme Ecom would have never been what it was if I did not understand the skill sets of dropshipping, as it kind of fueled into how the business was going to be made.
Even if you don't want to be in dropshipping, you can build a skill set that applies anywhere. So I'm sold, I want to start a business. You've probably helped thousands, if not tens of thousands of people now, probably more, who've just consumed your content. So you've probably seen the biggest mistakes people make when they go 0 to 1. So I'm here at 0. I want to get to 1, let's say 10,000 in sales, that first student. Can you give the biggest mistake you see people make in that 0 to 1 phase? So give people that journey. If you can reveal the secrets, I'm sure people would love to hear, but how do you go 0 to 1? How do I actually get to that first 10K in sales?
Well, the first step, no matter what, is to change your mindset that dropshipping is always about, finding a strong product. It is about having a good store, but changing your mindset where I say 80% of your focus is specifically on the content itself. I say this all the time to our students, to our audience, to everybody, that content is king and data is queen. And in the dropshipping space, e-commerce space, anything that involves advertising or promoting a product, the only way that you're going to stand out besides your back-end operations is going to be the content that you're producing. So I think a lot of the time, a lot of people get hung up on trying to fully validate a product or fully make their store look so great. And if they're spending, let's say, 50% of their, brain capacity on doing those two things, where instead you should only be spending like 20% on that and 80% on the content. Because if you have a checklist that you can follow every time for a product and it hits the validation steps that, it needs, don't overguess it. If somebody's already driving traffic to their website, you can see that they're getting consistent traffic. When you go onto the back end of their website, or on the back end of like their Facebook ad library, TikTok ad library, and you see that these people are scaling, nobody's sitting here spending money towards all these ads unless they're making money. So you can assume that the store itself is converting. So I don't need to really reinvent the wheel with the product. Don't really need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to the store. That's all really working. How am I going to stand out the most in the market is going to be the content that I put out. The angles, the POVs, the ways that you're tapping into your audience. And truthfully, I think like the biggest thing that can take you from zero to that point is by just knowing who your audience is. I think that's the biggest thing. I think if you can really tell me what they do on the weekends, who they hang out with, what are their hobbies, do they have kids, what are the things that, what are the type of music they listen to, who is this ideal avatar of this person that you want to consume your product, and then just create your content around that. So that's something I put a lot of effort into. A lot of our students put effort into is creating buyer personas and avatars behind the individual that would buy from us, and doing it just not based off of our opinion, but doing it based off of what the market is telling us. So going through the comment section of our competitors' ads and seeing what are all the different types of people who are commenting. Do they look the same? Are they in the same age group? Are they asking for this? Are they asking the same type of questions that might not have been answered in the ad itself? Are they all having the same common reason on why they bought the product? Like really understanding that. Then going to Amazon, looking at the one product reviews or 1-star reviews and the 5-star reviews, and saying, why did people enjoy the product? Why did people not enjoy the product? Is there a common interest in these type of people? Taking all of this to make a crazy audience persona behind the person I want to go after, and then making the content just to impact that one type of person. So I think if people can go into a direction where they can focus more on the content and who they're pushing their content to, and less about trying to overthink the product or the product page or the back end part of it, I think it would go a lot further for people.
I love what you said there. Content is king, data is queen. So maybe the product's the prince. Let's keep going with that analogy there.
Yeah, I like that.
I do want to ask one question about the product though. In 2025, what do you think is the best way to validate or find a winning product? And as part of that, do you think someone should start on Shopify or Amazon, or does it matter?
I definitely believe that people should start on Shopify, and the reasoning why is because the biggest thing between Shopify dropshipping and Amazon FBA is that you don't have to buy the inventory up front. Secondly is that I can compete outside of just Amazon's platform. I can compete on TikTok, Google, Facebook. If you're a competitive person, you go to Shopify dropshipping because you know that you're going to give yourself a better impact on the market that you want to tap into. But to validate a product, there's a couple, simple steps that you're doing. The first thing is, has this worked for somebody in the present or in the past? Meaning that they've scaled it up, they've seen demand behind it, they have some type of credibility that this product has been scaled in the market. Then you follow up that question and you say, okay, how many people are scaling in the market right now? Is it more than 3? Is it 5? Is it 10? On each specific platform, am I seeing more than 5 people scaling that product at that moment? So I understand the market saturation behind, the space that I can advertise towards. The third is just saying, okay, is this product a problem-solving product? Can it add any value to people's lives? I don't sell cheap products. I don't sell just things that are just for the trend. I sell things that are going to impact people's lives or make their lives easier in some sort of way. I ask, does it have a wow factor? I say, can I sell this product for more than $30, between like $30 and $150? Can I get a good enough margin on the product from the cost of goods? I always try to get at least a 2.5x margin on the cost of goods versus a product being sold. So if I'm selling a product for $25, for example, then the most I'd pay for it is $10. These are like the simple things that I'm really looking for. And then the last main thing is just understanding, is there an audience that I can tap into that potentially the competitor right now is not tapping into? And if there is a green light across the board for all of that, it typically, you can answer those questions in 10 minutes. Once you've answered it, you feel confident, don't overthink it, and just start hitting the market.
Let's say someone follows the gospel, follows the guidance, takes action, gets started. They hit that 10K milestone. I now want to switch hats and go from 0 to 1 to 1 to N. So let's talk about scale here. Something that you've done, something you're doing for your own business. You've helped other students do this too. Is paid ads the only way to scale? Or how do you scale an e-commerce business? Let's say you're at 10K. You've validated your product. I'm guessing you have one channel that's kind of working. A student comes to you and says, how do I scale this thing? What do you advise them?
So you can scale with paid and organic. Now, when I start with a product, when I start dropshipping a product for the first time, yes, 99% of the time I'm doing paid. I want the answer of knowing if it's worth my time right away. Once something is worth my time and it's actually starting to drive a little bit of numbers, then that organic strategy can start to come, where I am now posting on TikTok, I'm posting on Instagram, I'm building up branded pages towards this product. But the main thing that I'm doing between the level of 10,000 to, let's say, 100,000 is really getting more and more and more and more content. And this is at this point probably the time where I am ordering the product in hand. And I am now creating my own type of content or sending it to a UGC creator and creating customized content that no one in the market has any access to. I'm doing this and I'm focused on this and scaling all the way up into like 20 to like 50,000. At that moment as well, I'm hiring VAs, to try to help with customer service, try to help with any type of moderation when it comes to your ads. And then from the 50 to like the $100,000 mark, what I'm doing here is starting to focus on reinvesting my profits into branding and white labeling the product. So I will not take this product and drop ship it from China anymore. If I'm making 50,000 in revenue, and let's say I have a 20% profit margin, I'm looking to have about 10,000 profit at this point. I will take 6 or 7,000 of that profit. I will then reach out to the supplier that I'm already working with, and I'm saying, I want you to ship 300 units to the United States, and I'm looking to get 3 to 5 day shipping. I want you to add in my own label, or I want to add in a tag, or I want to add custom boxing or some type of branding. And then once that is in motion and they're moving and everything is being shipped over, I'm then taking that product from a drop shipping store and I'm taking it to a one product or a niche focused brand. I'm taking the pixel and all the data and I'm moving it over. I'm taking all the customer list and I'm moving it over. And now I'm having inventory that's stacked in the United States. I have faster shipping. I never spent a single dollar on inventory because all I did was just reinvest my profits. And now I'm creating a brand that can take us, from 100,000 to a million a lot quicker. So that's kind of what the main focus is with us, and what we try to do with our students is we're looking to turn every dropshipper into a brand owner. And that's kind of what that level from 10 to 100,000 will look like.
Do you think there's an underrated marketing channel that people sleep on? I don't know if there's a silver bullet of, hey, do this channel, it'll work. But from working with students, is there a channel people sleep on that you think is underrated going into 2025?
Underrated. I think the only thing I could say maybe is a little underrated is just the fact that people still don't think Facebook is like the king of this all. I think everybody wants the new so bad, but it's just, if you just focus on Facebook ads and run them and really understand it, knowing that this platform has 4 billion people in the world that are on it, and there's 8 billion people in the world total. So 50% of the whole entire population of the world can tap into your ads. Just simplifying it and focusing in one area. I think everyone's sleeping on thinking they have to do 10 different platforms at once instead of mastering one thing and then becoming the master at the others next. So I still feel like people are sleeping on Facebook. I don't know why everybody just doesn't run Facebook ads, because it could go crazy,
Similar to the biggest mistake you talked about at the 0 to 1 phase, what is the biggest mistake you see entrepreneurs making when they're scaling, when they're going 10 to 100K?
10 to 100K, I would say one of the big things is not reinvesting profits. That's probably the biggest. I never cared about the profits. Like when I first started, I just cared about trying to build a brand. Like, I didn't care if I made $1,000 profit last night. I'm reinvesting 800 back into my ads the next day. Going from 0 to 100,000, I know it might sound like it's difficult, but it's really not. As long as you are making profit, which if you're running good content, you should be, it's all about how much you keep reinvesting back into your ads on a day-to-day basis. I don't scale weekly, I scale daily. So every night I'm seeing what my profit margins are. Every night I'm reinvesting it back into it. And I'm just focused on putting myself in the best position to scale, while secondly, building a system behind it, a repeatable system, a system that can yield the same result and give predictable results every single time. So every single step in the system is being documented. Everything is created, a SOP behind it. I'm understanding the roles that I have for future employees that I might not have, and the roles that I have for myself, and how do I get myself out of this role to get myself to keep growing and more and more and more. So I think if you look at drop shipping as a business and not as a side hustle, and you treat it like it's a one of the things I always say is like a franchise prototype, basically, where I'm going to make a system so perfect that I can replicate it 1,000 times. So any product that I sell, or any type of store or niche or any industry that I want to sell in, I just follow the same system over and over and over again, and I will be able to yield predictable results from it. So I'd say reinvestment and understanding the franchise prototype and treating your business like a system is how you can take it to the next level.
Thank you so much for watching. As you can tell, these conversations typically go past 15 minutes. So if you're looking to catch the full conversation, you can head to my company's channel, Doula HQ, and catch the full convo there. And if you like this type of content, why not check out more? My goal is to provide a raw, unfiltered, and authentic look of my life here in New York City, scaling Doula, where I'll share things like how we raise venture capital, the challenges the team faces on a daily basis, and how we're scaling to 10,000 customers and beyond. So if you want to see more content like this, please hit subscribe, turn on notifications. I'll be dropping content on the regular. And last but not least, if you yourself are starting or scaling a business, I'd love to be a small part of the journey. You can head to doula.com where you can get a free demo with the team. And you can also check out my 2-minute business hack newsletter where I share a business hack or any of my free ebooks, $1 Million Pitch, $1 Million Business, or $1 Million Body. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you in the next video.